stronger Christians. And sabi sa Matthew 14 verse 28, and Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And 29, and he said, come. When Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him, and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And when they were come into the ship, the wind ceased. Makikita po natin dito na si Peter, nandun yung faith niya. Talagang nanampalataya siya kay sa Panginoon na magagawa niya. Nung sinabi niya na gusto kong lumapit sa iyo, sabi niya, Panginoon, come. Same sa araw-araw natin pamumuhay. Talagang ang Panginoon, tinatawag niya tayo na tayo ay lumapit. Bagkus tayo lang minsan ang parating lumalayo sa Kanya. Pero ang Panginoon, makikita natin dito na siya mismo lumapit sa Kanya. At nung nakita niya na nag-step up yung faith ni Peter, anong ginawa niya? Gusto niyang makalapit sa Panginoon na maglakad din sa water. At truly, naging successful siya, tama? Nakalakad po ba si Peter sa tubig? Nakalakad siya. But, anong nangyari nung nakalakad siya sa tubig? Nakita niya may malaking halo na palapit siguro. Natakot siya at sink siya. Same is true in our Christian life when we get distracted. Nawala yung focus natin. Masisira tayo at mag-fail tayo. Sa Christian life natin, dapat i-focus lang natin ang mata natin sa Panginoon. Huwag tayo mag-focus sa mga ka-churchmate natin na tingnan natin yung buhay nila. At syempre lahat yan tao lamang ay may mga magkakamali din yan at madi-discourage tayo. At sa mga problems natin na na-encounter daily, instead of thinking about our problems, think about how big our problem. Don't think about how big our problem, think about how big our God is. Amen. Tama po? So through this, it will help us grow. But ang suggestion ko lang is ang pinakamalaking kalaban ng paglago sa pananampalataya is ang fear. Tama po? For example, you want to share the Word of God sa kaibigan nyo, sa boss mo or ka-office mate mo. You want to know why that, ano pong reason bakit hindi ka pa rin nakakapag-share ngayon? Ilang taon na kayong magka-office mate. Lahat ng bagay na pag-uusapan nyo, isa lang ang reason. You have fear. May story lang ako sa inyo. You know me, I like gusto kong magsabi ng stories. Merong isang, I will tell you a story. Fear is like the man who returned to his vacation cabin from a hike, badly scratched and bruised. Uwi siya, sugatan siya from a hike. His wife asked him, what happened? And he said, I met a snake on the trail. May nasalubong siyang ahas sa kanya. Oh, so kung may nasalubong ka, bakit sugatan ka? Sabi ng asawa niya babae, don't you remember that the trail officer or the trail ranger told us that the snake that was here in our place is all non-venomous. Wala pong lason, makakagat ka lang, pero you will not die of the venom. But the man answered to him, and the ranger told us yesterday that none of the snakes here are poisonous. And ang sabi ng lalaki is that they don't have to be poisonous if they can make you jump off a 20-foot cliff. So sa pagkasalubong niya, nakalimutan niya na hindi pala yan. Ang ginawa niya, tumalon siya sa bangin. 20 foot. So pag uwi niya, ay dugo-dugo siya. So what's the story? What's the lesson here? Kung may fear ka, hindi mo magagawa yung isang bagay. Hindi ka magiging productive na Christian at hindi ka mai-utilize ng Panginoon kasi na-overcome ka ng fear mo. Ang nangyari kay Peter is nung nandun na siya sa tubig, hinayaan niya na ma-overcome siya at ma-distract siya ng alon kaysa sa mag-focus siya sa Panginoon na napaka-makapangyarihan ng kasama niya. Amen? So sana huwag tayong ma-distract sa mga problema natin at sana huwag tayo ma-sidetrack. Hindi lang tayo ma-distract kasi ang sunod ng distract is sidetrack. I will share with you one quote here. It says that fear weakens. Listen, masaglit na to. Fear weakens, but faith strengthens. This is the comparison between fear and faith. Fear weakens, but faith strengthens. Fear imprisons, but faith liberates. Fear paralyzes, but faith empowers. Fear disheartens, but faith encourages. Fear sickens, but faith heals. Fear is very active in the life of someone who is not focused on the promises of God's word. Fear causes Christians to run when they should stand. Katulad nung natakot sa snake, hindi lang siya nag-run, jump pa siya, tumalon pa siya. Kaso nakalimutan niya na bangin pala yung tinalunan niya. So ang fear causes Christians to hide when they should be doing the will of God. We cannot share the word of God sa mga friends natin, sa family relatives natin kasi yung fear natin, not the fear na mamamatay tayo or masasaktan tayo. We have this fear of rejection. Ayaw natin na nare-reject. Kung naalala ko nung nasave ako, sobrang lahat ng tao feeling ko gusto kong sharean kahit yung mayor namin. Kaso every time na mag-share ako ng gospel, ay brother Ian, hindi yan. Alam ko na yan. Ay brother Ian, wag muna ako. Ay brother Ian, ano yan, wag muna. Ang tawag sa amin sa Bicol, buang again daw, yung may nalang Bible. Lahat ng discouragement, lahat ng pang-discourage, maririnig mo. To cut the long story short, mag-share ka ng gospel sa kakilala mo, wag na lang wag na. Ikaw na mismo na-discourage ka na sa sarili mo. So yun po ang impact pag may fear tayo. So, He will help me grow kung mag-focus lang tayo sa Panginoon. And yung lastly is that, sabi dito is that the whole purpose of the storm was to help the disciples grow in their faith. After all, the Lord would one day lead them and they would face many storms in their ministries. First training na binigay sa kanila ng Panginoon is ano? They encountered storm with Jesus Christ in the ship. Tama? Second experience nila is they were alone in the ship and Jesus came there to rescue them. Ang application na may share ko dito is this illustration is kung nakikita ko to I'm not glorifying exalting si Pastor John, pero feeling ko si Pastor John parang gano'n magaling mag-set up ka niya para ilagay ka niya sa sitwasyon na wala ka na may tuturo, mapipilitan ka mag-step up at i-overcome mo yung fear mo na kahit nakatayo kami sa inyo is kahit nanginginig si Brother Ronald nung nakaraan niya in-shape siya, alamig ng kamay ko, pero dapat i-overcome mo yung fear mo kasi yung desire mo na mag-serve sa Kanya in spite of, kasi yun ang kalooban ng Panginoon, so kailangan sumunod tayo regardless kung ano man yung fear natin. So this will help us to grow. Hindi man tayo magaling mag-preach siguro, but if we have the desire to serve Him, magagamit tayo ng Panginoon, and that will help us to grow as a Christian and as a believer. And Peter walked on the water. It is a great demonstration of faith. Only it happens na na-distraction nung nakita niya yung wave, kaya nag-fail siya through that. And Pastor John mentioned a quote here that faith is not believing in spite of evidence. Faith is not believing in spite of evidence, but obeying in spite of the consequence. I believe na-explain na to, pero this passage was really a blessing to me kasi sinasabi dito that storms are not easy, but they are necessary. Just bear that in mind. Storms are not easy, but they are necessary. They lead us to trust the Lord alone and obey Him regardless of circumstance. So I believe that when I was given this lesson, I was so excited to exhort the message. But when I came here, when I was reading and when Pastor John approached me, tapos na yan, brother. Hindi ko alam kung anong gagawin ko. Pero I believe that God has a purpose. Sa Bible, pag paulit niya, inuulit-ulit niya isang word, meaning to say, God is emphasizing something. So, I remember from Pastor John that he said, I'm sorry po?
Wala na last year.
Wala ka lang. But it's a blessing for God.
Blessing, yes.
Ako din wala din.
Para sa akin, wala akong lesson eh.
And lastly, you will see me through, and Pastor John will give a last one. And I believe so that it says here that He will see us through, and whatever problems you have, God will, whatever He starts, He will finish it. And since the Lord is the author and finisher of faith, whatever He starts, He will complete that. We may fail along the way, but in the end, God will succeed. The Lord and Peter walked on the water together and went to the ship. Peter's experience turned out to be a blessing to the other disciples. When they saw the power of the Lord, they fall down and worship Him. What is a great blessing here is that kung makikita natin from Matthew 8:23 to 27 is that si Brother Ronald hindi pa nag-quiz. Kailangan mag-quiz kahit general, di ba? Kailangan mag-quiz. Perfect. Kakanta ka. Ang lesson dito is that in Matthew chapter 8, verse 23 to 27, the passage here, it says that after the storm, when Jesus calms the storm, on verse 27, the men said, but the men marveled, saying, what manner of man is this, that even the winds of the sea obey Him? From that point is that kinwestiyon pa nila ang Panginoon. But on the second verse, on the latest one that yung second storm na na-encounter nila, is yung pinaka-last verse, sa verse 33, is that ang testimony na nila is, Thou art the Son of God. Tama? From a doubt to a blessing na na-realize na nila, na-accept nila na talagang truly, Jesus Christ, our Lord Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And for further explanation, Pastor John will give it. And I hope na may natutunan tayo. Yung mga wala ay may natutunan. Yung mga nandito na review. At yung mga wala sa Bible study ay maging challenge na dapat, Pastor, meron din ditong kids ministry. Kahit na may mag-aalaga ng bata para maka-attend kaming mga nagbabantay na.
It just goes to show, before I point out two more things, kung wala kayo ng Tuesday, at wala pa rin kayo do you realize how much you are missing?
Yes.
Dito na yan, what about the other Tuesdays na wala?
Yes, Pastor.
This is just an example of what you missed in one session. So the more sessions you miss, sometimes yung mga lessons na kailangan natin are the lessons na wala tayo. Alam ba si Satanas kung kailan, alam niya rin eh. So sometimes the Lord, Satan will hinder you from coming to that because He knows either you will be encouraged or you will be rebuked or you will learn an important lesson from that time. So Satan will also try to hinder you. 2 points before we end. Yung under sa number 1, the storm of perfection. What is your understanding of that word, perfect or perfection? Ano yun? Ano ibig sabihin na? Yung correction, alam natin. Alam natin yung correction, but the word perfection, the storm of perfection, what does that mean? Brother Ace?
I-refine tayo na.
I-refine tayo? Good for? Give me a synonym. Just say it. Kahit na chorus, kahit sabay-sabay rin. Pruning, what else? Purge, what else?
Define.
Pag sinabi ng Bible na, halimbawa, Ephesians chapter 4, verse number 12, He gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 1, let us go on unto perfection. What does the word perfect means? To mature. Mature. To mature. Halimbawa, kaya dito, pag sinabing the storm of perfection, ito yung storm that will help us grow or will help us mature. And when we mature, we become productive. Okay. Another point is at the number 4. He will help us grow. I think there is a verse, na-miss natin yung pinaka-verse under number 4. Okay? It's my fault. I should have specified this in the lesson. He will help us grow. May 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 6 verses in that point. You read for me verse number 32, Brother Lina. Basahin mo yung verse number 32. Ito yung nakalita natin i-highlight dito. It's my fault. I did not indicate this in the lesson. Tingnan nyo yung verse number 32.
The Bible says, and when they were coming to the ship, the wind ceased.
Nakita niyo yan? Here is the boat. Here is the Lord Jesus Christ. Peter walked from the boat to the Lord Jesus Christ. We do not know how far kasi naglalakad na siya eh. And then nung nakita niya that the wind, so he was already, I do not know the distance between him and the ship already. And then he sank, and then the Lord, he said, Lord save me, and the Lord helped him. But what happened after that? The Lord Jesus Christ and Peter what? Walked together back to the ship. He was not being carried by the Lord. He was really walking already. See? So, talagang, yung papunta sa Panginoon, nakita mo yung faithlessness niya. Nakita niyo yun, yung isang doon. Okay? But, nung pabalik na sa ship, wala nang problema doon. So, makita mo yung growth ni Peter dyan sa kanyang pananampalataya. And the other disciples had no business to criticize Peter because, as far as we know, Peter is the only human being on earth who walked on water. Sometimes we criticize him for his lack of faith, but are you able to walk on water? Yeah. Siguro, pag nagbaha na, makita natin yung growth niya. So, I think this is a lesson really worth repeating.
Can I share something?
Yeah,
Kasi actually this one was my message last year, March 18. Wala po ako kayo nun. So, ang title po kasi ng ano to, Dare to Step Out. So this is the story of Peter's faith. So I have 4 points before I made my time ako nun, that's why I had. So number 1 is, they were there already. They are really tired of rowing against the wind. But when they saw something, he is the only one that desired to draw to the Savior. He is the only disciple. So the Lord says, "Fear not, is it I?" Right? So he is the one that believed what he heard. When he believed what he heard, he said, "Lord, if it's you, bid me to come." So he also will for approval from the Lord going to him. So that is the purpose. He decided to draw to the Savior. Number 2 is, he departed from his lying position, which is they are helpless at that point. Wala na sila, kumbaga they were so tired, the wind is there, they cannot do anything. So, in the part of Peter, rather to be there in that boat without anything, I'd rather go to the Lord. So, with that, he demonstrated his faith. Because he already started to walk on water. As Pastor said, we don't know what's the distance, but the reality is he walked on water. And with that, he developed a record. As Pastor said, that nobody in the record, he was the only human being to walk on water. And then third thing is, the sad part is he was distracted by doubt. So, when he doubted, he lost his focus. So, nag-focus siya dun sa weights instead of himself. And with this doubt, it lowered his faith. We cannot say that he does not have faith because he already started walking on the water. So, he was doubted. And number 4 is, he was delivered from danger. Because there are a lot of options when he was sinking. He could swim back to the ship. He could go to the Lord. One thing he did is to cry to the Savior. He cried to the Savior. That is the lesson for us. If problems comes, we don't have to do all things that we can, but instead we should cry to the Lord. And then the last, some point is he was carried by the Savior. He was taken. So that was my that was my
you, brother.
Can I also share?
Yes, of
30
course.
seconds. I just want to share na yung sabi ni Apostle Peter dito is yung total dependency niya sa Panginoon. Kasi kung titingnan mo yung katawan ni Apostle Peter, he's a fisherman. Magaling siyang lumangoy, sigurado. But still, he asked to save help from the Lord. And number 2 naman doon is yung immediacy or yung immediately nung tinawag niya ang Panginoon, kailangan ng Panginoon, tinulungan pa rin siya. Alam din naman ng Panginoon na sigurado marunong lumangoy si Apostle Peter, si fisherman. Pero pag tumawag ka sa Panginoon,
Talagang tutunan. Amen. Thank you, Brother Bob. Thank you, Brother Ned.
Lesson on faith is the difference.